Ever tried to solve a problem only to make it way worse? Like hilariously worse? Congratulations, you've experienced the Cobra Effect. It's when your brilliant plan backfires so spectacularly, it's almost impressive. Think of it as a cosmic joke with unintended and often hilarious consequences. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the wild world of the Cobra Effect, where good intentions go to die, and then come back to life, angrier than before. Our story begins in colonial India. Delhi's got a cobra problem. Solution? Offer a bounty for every dead cobra. Seems logical, right? Kill the snakes, get paid, problem solved. Except, people are clever, especially when there's money involved. Soon, enterprising folks start breeding cobras. Why hunt when you can just farm them? The streets are flooded with snake entrepreneurs, all cashing in on the cobra craze. The government, realizing their error, scraps the program. The result? Thousands of newly unemployed cobras are released, making the problem even worse than before. Whoopsie-daisy. Delhi's cobra fiasco perfectly illustrates the Cobra Effect in action. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when we forget that people respond to incentives in, shall we say, creative ways. We see a problem, we slap a band-aid on it, and then wonder why we're suddenly drowning in venomous snakes, or rats, or car parts, but more on that later. The lesson: sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to avoid creating a new one in its place. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet with a hammer. You might stop the drip, but you'll probably flood the entire bathroom in the process. The Cobra Effect isn't limited to snakes and inept colonial governments. This phenomenon is a global traveler, popping up in the most unexpected places. In Hanoi, a bounty on rats backfired when people started breeding them for profit. The result? A rat buffet, but not the kind anyone wanted. Then there's China, where a reward for dinosaur bones led to people smashing fossils to bits, hoping to cash in on the dino debris. Turns out destroying history isn't great for archaeology. And in the world of car insurance, offering rewards for stolen parts created a thriving black market for those very parts. Who knew thieves could be such savvy entrepreneurs? Our brains on cobras, why we fall for it. Have you ever wondered why we keep making the same mistakes even when history has shown us the consequences? It's a fascinating phenomenon that delves deep into the intricacies of human psychology and behavior. Why do we keep falling for the Cobra Effect? This term, coined from a historical anecdote, highlights how well-intentioned solutions can backfire spectacularly. But why do we, as humans, keep falling into this trap? Blame it on our brains. Our brains are wired to recognize patterns and make quick decisions based on past experiences. This is a survival mechanism that has served us well for millennia. Our grey matter loves patterns. We are constantly seeking to make sense of the world around us by identifying and following patterns. This helps us predict outcomes and make decisions efficiently. We see a problem decrease after implementing a solution and assume, aha, it worked. This immediate feedback reinforces our belief that our actions are effective, even if the correlation is coincidental. But correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because two events occur together doesn't mean one caused the other. This logical fallacy often leads us to incorrect conclusions. Just because the rooster crows at dawn doesn't mean he's the one making the sun rise. This classic example illustrates how easily we can be misled by apparent connections. We also underestimate human ingenuity and our capacity for mischief. People are incredibly resourceful and will often find creative ways to navigate around rules and incentives. Present a rule or incentive, and someone, somewhere, will find a way to exploit it. This is not always done with malicious intent. Sometimes it's simply a matter of finding the easiest path to a goal. It's not always malicious, it's just how we roll. Our natural curiosity and desire to solve problems can lead us to unintended consequences. Give us a loophole, and we'll drive a truck full of cobras right through it. This metaphor highlights how, when given the opportunity, we will often take advantage of situations in ways that were never anticipated. Understanding these tendencies can help us design better solutions and avoid the pitfalls of the Cobra Effect in the future. Business blunders and everyday errors. The Cobra Effect in disguise. The term Cobra Effect originates from a historical anecdote in colonial India, where a misguided incentive to reduce cobra populations led to an increase in their numbers. But this phenomenon isn't just a relic of the past. The Cobra Effect isn't confined to government policies and historical anecdotes. It has infiltrated the modern corporate world, lurking in the shadows of well-intentioned business strategies. It thrives in the modern world, particularly in the wild jungles of business. Companies, in their relentless pursuit of growth and profit, often implement policies that backfire spectacularly. Companies, desperate to boost those quarterly earnings, often fall prey to its seductive charms. They introduce incentives and policies meant to drive performance, only to find themselves entangled in unintended consequences. Take, for instance, rewarding employees solely on quantity over quality. On paper, it seems like a surefire way to increase productivity, but in reality, it can lead to a host of problems. You incentivize rushed work, shoddy products, and a whole lot of unhappy customers. The focus shifts from doing a good job to simply doing more, regardless of the outcome. This not only affects the quality of the products, but also the morale of the employees. They feel pressured to meet unrealistic targets, leading to burnout and dissatisfaction. Or how about offering unlimited vacation time? Sounds fantastic, right? The idea is to give employees the freedom to take time off as needed, promoting a healthy work-life balance. Except it often leads to employees taking less vacation, afraid of seeming lazy or replaceable. The lack of clear guidelines creates uncertainty, and many end up working more instead of less. The intention was to create a more flexible and trusting work environment, but the result is often the opposite. Employees feel more stressed and less likely to take the time they need to recharge. It's the paradox of choice, too many options, and we end up doing nothing at all. The Cobra Effect in disguise, turning well-meaning policies into traps that hinder rather than help. To avoid falling into this trap, companies need to carefully consider the potential unintended consequences of their policies. It's not enough to have good intentions. The execution and impact matter just as much. By understanding the Cobra Effect and learning from past mistakes, businesses can create strategies that truly benefit both the company and its employees, leading to sustainable success. Dodging the Cobra. How to outsmart unintended consequences. In our quest to solve problems, we often find ourselves facing unintended consequences, much like dodging a cobra's strike. These consequences can be as dangerous as the original problem, if not more so. So how do we avoid becoming a cautionary tale in the ever-growing annals of the Cobra Effect? The Cobra Effect refers to a situation where an attempted solution to a problem makes the problem worse. It's named after an incident in colonial India where a bounty on cobras led to people breeding them for profit, ultimately increasing the cobra population. The key lies in resisting the urge to whack every problem with a solution hammer. When faced with a challenge, our instinct is often to act quickly and decisively. However, this can lead to solutions that are too simplistic and fail to address the root cause of the issue. Take a breath, put down the metaphorical hammer, and consider these tips. 1. Think long-term. It's easy to get caught up in the urgency of the moment, but taking a step back to consider the long-term implications of your actions can prevent future headaches. Don't just focus on the immediate fix. Quick fixes can be tempting, but they often lead to more problems down the line. Instead, aim for sustainable solutions that address the underlying issues. What are the potential consequences down the road? 2. Embrace complexity. Life is full of intricate, interwoven challenges that can't be solved with a one-size-fits-all approach. Life isn't a linear equation. It's a complex web of interactions and dependencies. Understanding this complexity is crucial to finding effective solutions. Complex problems rarely have simple solutions. 3. Get feedback. Engaging with others can provide new perspectives and insights that you might not have considered. Ask those affected by the problem for their insights. They are often the ones who understand the nuances and can offer practical advice. They might just spot a cobra lurking in the undergrowth. 4. Test and adapt. Before implementing a solution on a large scale, it's wise to test it in a controlled environment. Roll out solutions on a small scale first. See what happens. Adjust accordingly. This iterative process allows you to refine your approach and minimize risks. Remember, the goal isn't to create more problems to solve, no matter how entertaining that might be for future generations studying the Cobra Effect. By thinking long-term, embracing complexity, seeking feedback and testing solutions, we can outsmart unintended consequences and create lasting positive change. The Cobra Effect is a humbling reminder that we don't always have the answers. In fact, sometimes our solutions are worse than the problem itself. But hey, at least it makes for a good story, right? The next time you see a problem, resist the urge to play the hero with a quick fix. Channel your inner detective. Ask questions. Consider the unintended consequences. You might just prevent a cobra infestation, or at least a metaphorical one. The Cobra Effect isn't just a funny story. It's a constant reminder that our actions, even those with the best of intentions, can have unexpected and often hilarious consequences. It's about understanding that systems are complex, humans are unpredictable, and sometimes the best solution is to avoid creating a new problem in the first place. The world is full of problems just begging for solutions. But before you charge in, solution sword drawn, remember the Cobra Effect. It's a call to approach problem solving with a healthy dose of humility, a dash of humor, and a willingness to adapt when things inevitably go awry. And if, despite your best efforts, you find yourself knee-deep in a metaphorical cobra pit of your own making, don't panic. Take a step back, have a good laugh, and then get to work cleaning up the mess. After all, you've just provided the world with another cautionary tale, and that's got to be worth something, right? To watch videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. Bye.